First of all, Mr. President, welcome to Cincinnati.
Thank you.
You have a long business relationship here.
I do. I've had a lot of
Swifton Commons.
relationships. I had Swifton with my father a long time ago, and we did a good job. We fixed it up. 1,164 units. I remember the exact. We fixed it up. I worked here for 2 summers.
By Cincinnati Gardens.
That's right by Cincinnati. I don't even know if it's still there.
No, they knocked it down about 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
it's gone.
The whole thing, including the gardens?
Everything's gone.
And what's going to happen with it?
Make it a housing development or something.
Okay, good. But it was great for us. We fixed it and sold it for more money, and it was very good. But I love the Queen City. I love the Queen City.
Let's talk about what happened today with Pastor Brunson.
Yeah.
Major accomplishment. You're like the hostage-receiving president. All over the world they're coming in. How important was it to get back this religious leader who was being persecuted in Turkey?
Well, he is, and he's a great religious leader, and it was, they accused him of things that he didn't do, but we got him back, and we got back Aya, we got back many people, actually. If you look at it, it seems like all the time we're bringing back people, and I know President Obama paid $1.8 billion
for nothing
to bring back a few people from Iran, $1.8 billion, and we got him back, and he's going to be safe very shortly. He's in the air, he literally just took off. And he'll be in the office. He'll be in the Oval Office probably sometime Saturday.
Big welcome.
A big welcome, yeah. Evangelicals, Christians, everybody wanted him back. What happened to him was incredible. And he was held hostage, but now he's going to be happy. I'm sure he's very happy right now.
Let's talk about your wife, Melania's trip to Africa, which is unbelievable, what happened there. Talk about what was the goal and what was accomplished with Melania in Africa.
Well, she's a terrific first lady and a great human being, and she wanted to go and see for herself Africa because we've heard so much about it. Some very good stuff, but some very tough stuff in the sense of the way people live. And she made 4 stops, and she also went to the pyramids in Egypt, and that was quite something special. But and the poverty is incredible.
Yeah.
The level of poverty. It was very sad, beautiful in one way, and very sad in another. The kids were beautiful. They loved her. And she came back and she said, I hope you're going to continue to give a lot of money because they need it. It's not a question of defense. It's not a question of it's just on a human basis they need it. And she had a big impact on me, I will tell you. Bill, she really had a big impact on me.
And the other thing in the Midwest, I look at Canada, Mexico, and South Korea. Millions of jobs have been created. And you were told a year or 2 ago by Gary Cohn and others that, the Canada deal is probably not going to happen. Mexico's too tough. NAFTA is ingrained. What did you do that caused Canada may not be real happy right now, and Mexico may not be real happy, and then South Korea to kind of play, because we're the big dog in the kennel, but they don't treat us that way. What did you do with the trade deal?
And we're also the piggy bank that everybody wants to come in and rob. And Mexico, we made a deal, and we told them, look, otherwise we're going to have to just tax your car industry, which would have been bad for them. And frankly, I wouldn't have wanted to do it, but we were going to do it. And we made a deal with Mexico. We could not make a deal with Canada. They just wouldn't make a deal that was fair for us because NAFTA was a total and complete disaster. You know that better than anybody.
Awful.
You saw what happened over here with,
Awful.
You still have buildings empty where they just, everybody moved out. I don't know what they were thinking. So that's why I refused to call it NAFTA. I said, the deal we're making, I refuse. So we call it the USMCA, and it works good. But we made a great deal with everybody. What happened then is Canada came along in the end. We weren't able to make it. I said, we're going to tax your cars coming in.
Then what happened?
And they made a deal.
They made a deal.
They made a deal, and it's a deal that we're very happy with. I hope they're very happy with. I hope everybody is. But it's a fair deal for us. And we just made a deal with South Korea, which is
fabulous.
A much improved deal, improved. I will say that Hillary Clinton, do you remember, she made that deal, and she said it's 250,000 jobs, and she was right for South Korea. So they got 250. We didn't get 250. It was a terrible deal. So essentially we terminated that deal, and we made a new deal with South Korea.
Mr. President, how many jobs are you talking about here? We talking about Canada and Mexico. We're talking about 1 million?
Well, you're talking about millions of jobs potential. Don't forget, we've opened up countries that were just totally close to us.
Right.
If you look at Canada, we couldn't sell our dairy product there, and if we did, it was a 300% tariff. People don't talk about that. If I put on a 10% or a 20% tariff, they make a big deal of it. They have 300%, 275%, 285%. These are the tariffs they charge. So essentially, that's a wall because if you have to pay a tariff like that, you can't sell the product. It's too expensive. So we've opened up Canada, and we have a very good relationship now. I think they respect us more than they did before. But now at least it's fair, and our farmers are in love with it. You see what's going on.
It's beautiful.
Now we're working on China, and we're working on the European Union, which have absolutely taken advantage of our country. The European Union has been brutal in the way they took advantage of the United States for many years. I mean, they were formed to take advantage of the United States. That was the reason they were formed. How can we take from the United States? So the European Union, they formed, and they're very unfair to us. They have barriers where we can't sell into their countries. They have tremendous tariffs that make it impossible, and yet they sell Mercedes-Benz and BMWs by the millions. They come in, millions, and we charge them essentially no tax. It's 2.5%, but for the most part, they don't even collect it. So we charge them virtually nothing, and they send millions and millions of cars. If we want to send a piece of grain, okay? If we want to send a piece of grain, we can't do it into the European Union. So it's unfair. We met with them. I told them I'm going to start taxing your cars, because Obama, they wouldn't even talk to him, okay? They said, we're very happy the way we are, and that was it. Obama just went away. And then with us, I said, look, we want to talk. I didn't hear from him. I said, we want to talk. I didn't hear. Third time I said, listen, you're not going to call me back, but I'm going to give you one more chance. And I didn't hear. I said, that's okay. I'm going to tax your cars at 25% coming in, which is frankly more money.
Right.
It's devastating to them, but it's more money. And they immediately hopped in a plane and came over and talked. And now they want to make a deal. I don't know that we're going to make a deal with them. I can tell you they want to.
Sure.
But we're going to make it one way or the other.
We built China, $500 billion a year, $5 trillion over 10. We built Shanghai. We built Beijing. At some point, we got to start building America. They got the new airports. We don't have the new airports. They got the new bridges. We don't have the bridges. At some point, our money's got to come back to America.
You're so right. So China's been taking out $500 billion a year. People have no idea what that is. $500 billion. We have rebuilt China.
Can't do it anymore.
And I have a very good relationship with President Xi, but I said we can't do it. Very simple. We can't do it anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. So we've now put on $250 billion worth of tariffs. And by the way, there's been no impact. There's been no effect. No. But what people don't say is that we're taking in billions of dollars in our treasury, because it's at 25%. So we're taking in billions of dollars, and we're going to create jobs. Now, some of these things that we're not buying from China, or they become expensive because of the tariffs, they're going to start building these plants here to make the product here, which is the old-fashioned way. That's the way we used to do it. So China has been, look, China's the biggest of them all by far. It's probably 60% of our trade loss. We lost, over the last few years, an average of $800 billion a year on trade. We lose with everybody. Those days are over, Bill.
Now, lastly, we have the midterms coming up. One of my favorite movies is Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life. I look at Bedford Falls. Pelosi takes the House. Schumer takes the Senate. Your life becomes miserable the last 2 years. What do you say to middle-class Americans all over the country that say, you know what, we don't want Bedford Falls the way it looked. We want the new Bedford Falls. What do you say to those who say the midterms, relax, take it easy, not important, Renacci, whether it's Blackburn or Heller? We don't have to worry about that. What do you say to motivate the base?
Well, I hope Renaci's going to do well. First of all, he's a great guy. But I just say, just countrywide, just forget it, countrywide. You have to go out and vote. My poll numbers are so good, but a lot of people say, I'm not running, so we're not going to vote.
51% Rasmussen. 51.
Yeah, we're doing great. And then they say you can add a lot to it. Because when people hang up and they say, we don't want to talk to you, that means it's a Trump vote. Right. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what it means. We have to do well. I will say, I think we're going to do very well in the Senate. And a lot of things have happened since Justice Kavanaugh.
Got 15 judges the other day. Got 15 new judges.
Many, many judges. And we're going to have 145 judges fairly soon when you think about it. I mean, 145. It'll be close to 50% of the whole judiciary, not only 2 Supreme Court justices. But that was a very big thing happened over the last couple of weeks with Justice Kavanaugh, because I've rarely seen a person treated so badly. A man of great distinction, a great life, and the way they treated him was horrible. And since that happened, Republicans are looking, so is everybody. They see what's going on.
Is that the law of unintended consequences? Because I've had many women whisper in my ear, you know, Bill, I'm with Kavanaugh. They don't want to say it publicly, but if you say, in a weird sense, Kavanaugh is motivated the Republican base, when otherwise it wouldn't have happened.
Well, I don't know if you're going with me later. I hope you are. And you've been a great friend of mine, and I appreciate it. You've been a very terrific guy.
It's easy.
You're also a terrific talent. You know, a lot of people can't do what you do. You know, there's Rush.
All I do is talk.
Well, there's Rush and about not too many. And Sean, as you know, Sean is great. But these are great people and great talents, and I appreciate it. No, we have to do well. I think we're going to do well in the Senate. I think we could pick up some seats in the Senate. And the polls, if you look 3 weeks ago and you look now, it's like
especially
a
Blackburn,
different picture.
like Blackburn.
Well,
she was down.
She was 10 points down. Now she's 4 or 5 points up. Marcia from Tennessee, almost all of them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how you're doing here. I know it's a tough race, but it's unfortunate because he's such a good man. I mean, I don't know.
Sherrod Brown's a socialist, but you know he's
a socialist.
A lot of Trump voters are voting for Sherrod Brown.
Yeah, and he's going around, and a lot of people think he's my best friend in the world. The ads are like Trump ads.
He talks well about you.
I know, it's amazing, except it's only during this period of time.
That's 6 weeks.
After it's over, so it's one of those things. But I hope it does well, and I hope that Steve does well. I think he's doing well for Congress.
Shabbat will win.
I hear he's doing well, so I think that's very important, and I'm here for him. But I just want to thank you for everything you've done, and hopefully people are going to realize that this is a very important election. Midterms, I think, frankly, I think people are viewing this as very important. You know, usually midterms are like sleepers.
Yeah.
People, they are energized. And for those that say that the blue is energized, meaning the Democrats, and we're not, I think we're more energized.
Wait till you see Lebanon. They lined up yesterday morning.
Right? Yeah.
There's 20,000 trying to get into 2,000.
Yeah.
It's a problem with the size of the arena. Wait till you see what happens in about an hour. You're not going to believe the energy.
Well, we had it in Erie, Pennsylvania the other night. We had 25,000 people outside of a 12,000-seat arena. It's been amazing. And if that kind of, action shows up in 3 weeks, can you imagine? It's just a little more than 3 weeks.
You got the energy for the next 3 weeks because you're like Elvis and Aloha in that 1968.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Good old Elvis.
You got 3 more weeks?
We loved Elvis.
You got 3 weeks in you?
Well, I have 25 days, and 25 days I'm out campaigning for many of those days. I do all of them, but you can only move this big equipment so often, okay, and Secret Service and all of that. But we're very, very busy, and we're going to the races that are close or slightly ahead or slightly behind. And we're making a lot of stops, and this one we're doing for Steve. He should win.
Yeah, he'll win.
He's really good, and he should win, but we'll be very upset if he doesn't, but I think he's going to.
Mr. President, you're the best. You're a great American. I say that all the time.
You.
But you're a great American. Keep doing what you're doing for the voices you don't hear and the faces you don't see. You're going to see a few in an hour or so, but those people, you're the hero. I was with Reagan in '84 when he came here. I thought Reagan was the star. He was the Rolling Stones. You're the Beatles. You're on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah,
I'm serious about this. Wait till you see what happens in Warren County.
Yeah. Are you going to be down? I wish you'd come if you want. I mean, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. We're going to have a lot of fun down there.
Well, let me see.
If you get down there, you come backstage with us, okay? I'd love to. But I really do appreciate your support, Bill. You're such an important voice, and you've been with us. And, just say hello to all your people. You have a lot of them.
You're a great American.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
much,
Bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you and good luck to you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.